Hey, Vic. You ended with that red zone period. From your standpoint, what do you look for during those kind of plays with all the quarterbacks and defensive backs?
Well, number one, you're looking for execution. Guys understanding what they're supposed to do on both sides of the ball and being able to operate now in tight quarters. Obviously, being in the red zone, it's not good on defense to be in the red zone, but it is a defensive advantage when the field is condensed. So we got to be able to know how to adjust our play on defense to take advantage of that. And offense has to realize that things are condensed and play sharp, play quick, and fit the ball in there where it needs to be fitted. Runs have to be run efficiently, and red zone's a big part of the game. Once you get down there, whether you get 3 or 7 or give up 3 or 7 is crucial.
Next up, Zach Stevens, go ahead.
Coach, you've talked about how Von Miller has a different mentality. Are you seeing that translate to the field, and how has he looked the past couple of days, specifically today?
I think he had a good day today for the most part. Obviously, I haven't watched the tape yet, but I thought he did good. And I think Von's in good shape. He's a little heavier than he's been in the past, not drastically, but I think he's worked hard in the offseason to get his body where he wants to get it and where he feels it needs to be. And I think it's shown some dividends already on the practice field.
Next up, Eric DeLalla, go ahead.
Yeah, Vic, you started with a pretty run-heavy period there. What are you looking for when you execute those run plays without being on the tackle to the ground here?
Well, again, just, run defense, run offense is the very physical part of the game. And we got to get our guys callous to playing NFL football and defending the run, running the ball on offense, blocking. Okay, that gets you callous to playing NFL football. And it's a mindset. And these guys haven't had pads on now, yesterday being the first day. And today, since last season, whenever that was for everybody. So, we're not callous to playing NFL football. Just from a conditioning standpoint is one thing, but banging it around in there and the physical part of the game, we got to get callous.
Next up, Troy Rain, go ahead.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. It looked like the tackles, both Garrett and Elijah, had some issues, but your defense was getting after it. I know it's early, but what do you look for from those tackles as we get more into pads over the next week?
Well, they got to do a good job of blocking. We need to, as an O-line, and the tackles are part of the O-line, build a good fort for the quarterback to throw from. Okay, and we can't have cracks or leaks in the fort that apply pressure. And, it's a entire unit's operation. There are times where it becomes a one-on-one for any one of them at any time, and they've got to be able to uphold their end of the bargain, be able to block the guy they're blocking one-on-one.
Marty Stapleton, go ahead, please.
Hey, Vic, this might be a little bit under the radar, but have you had a chance to kind of see Sam Martin and the upgrade you have at punter so far?
Yeah, I like Sam. Sam's an experienced punter. He's had good success in the league. And even though he is experienced, he really should be entering the prime of a punter's career. And he's got good versatility in the different ways he can kick the ball. He's a good holder, which is important. And we're happy to have Sam.
Next up, Mike Kliss, go ahead.
Yeah, Vic, Drew Lock had a lot more immediate pressure today. How do you think he handled it?
I think he did good, from my vantage point on the field. That's one thing, Drew, as you saw some of those times. Now, obviously, we'll never know if we would have gotten him down before he takes off, but his mobility and scrambling ability is important. It's an added dimension to any offense, and that's part of his game that we like, and we encourage him to use it, when the opportunity presents itself or when he's forced to. And, hopefully, I know we'll make some plays off of that when he's scrambling around.
Next up, Brandon Cristal, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Alberto had a drop kind of in the middle of practice on an out route and then bounced back with a bunch of catches, and I think maybe even 3 scores late. How much do the good plays outweigh the negative in a coach's mind when there's an easy drop like that for any player?
Well, if the easy drops, you got to eliminate. When you're called upon to catch the ball, there are some different degrees of difficulty involved. And if it's an easy one, we got to catch it. We got to be able to make the routine plays. And along with making the outside the routine plays, when you got to get stretched out and make a catch on a ball that maybe not be perfectly thrown where you want it. And he's shown the ability to catch it no matter routine or not routine. But, you know, we can't afford any drops, obviously.
Next up, Kyle Newman, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Isaac Yadam obviously had an up and down year last year. Seemed like he had some traction there, and maybe in those final couple games. What are you looking from him to, you know, prove or build on here in this training camp to earn a role in the back end of that secondary?
Yeah, just to improve in all facets of the game. You know, obviously, job number one of a corner is the ability to cover. You know, we want to see improvement there. Corners have to tackle in this league in the run game, and he has to improve there. And just his overall awareness of what we're doing on defense and understanding his position and how it relates to what we're doing. I think if he can achieve those things, you know, he's off to a good start and will be a major factor in our defense.
Guys, time for a few more. Next up, Troy Rank.
Coach, we saw Phillip get upset. He had a fumble. I think he had a drop. Do you have to talk to him at all to make sure he doesn't make like every play a referendum on his status, that he doesn't, you know, get too intense, that it's a long camp? Or how do you approach it with a player with him who's clearly fiery?
Well, I think you just let him go until you feel like he might be pressing. That's just Phillip being Phillip. You know, he's a very competitive guy. He's a very demanding guy on himself. And if he makes a play, doesn't make a play that he thinks he should make, or, you know, fumbles the ball, obviously should never do that. You know, he takes it personal. And I don't mind the guy getting fiery at himself or others at all. You know, if I think it's become a detriment and not helping his cause, then I'll say something, but I don't see that being the case.
Last one, Ryan O'Haller, go ahead.
You're going to be starting in an experienced center no matter who it is. How much of a benefit is it having a guy like Glasgow next to him?
That's good. I mean, one of the very underrated and unappreciated things in football, and it happens across the board, is the guy you're next to. You know, for the O-line, it's obvious, you know, the center having the two guards next to him, the tackle having the guards next to him, the guards having the tackle next to them. Sometimes guys end up really, really helping somebody, you know, before the ball is snapped. It happens on defense. You know, inside linebackers being one of where it happens a lot. Safeties where it happens a lot. D linemen. I kind of end up, you know, and you can tell the difference when one guy needs that experienced guy next to him that can help him pre-snap, and when that guy disappears for whatever reason, you can see a difference in one guy's play. It happens. I've called them for a long time. I've said certain players need a caddy out there on the field. And some guys do better when they got a good caddy with them. That's just a fact, and it's for those positions we mentioned.